Andersen.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I understand, and welcome to today's video. I figured for the end of the year kind of celebration, even though I know we're past the new year, I wanted to look back at 2023 and just go over some of the highlights with you guys. Such an incredible year, and I'm so thankful you guys are a part of it. And again, I want to go back and take a look at some of the highlights. And to do that, I figured it'd be best if we go on a drive in something I haven't driven in a long time. That really is the genesis for this whole channel. So this is our 2005 manual swapped C55 AMG that I've had for, I don't even know how long now. It's gotta be like close to 6-7 years. It is, like I said, the beginning, the origins of this channel. And out of all the cars here, it probably has the most amount of time put into it, the most amount of modification. If you're curious about all of that, you can go back and look at all the videos, but a lot done to this thing. And it's kind of just been hanging out while we've been doing so much work on all the other cars. It deserves to be driven. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this thing out on a drive and just have a little conversation and enjoy the ride together. All right, it is absolutely freezing in here. I had this thing on the battery charger all morning, so we should be okay. Let's go ahead and fire it up, let it warm up for a while. And ignore all of our 1,000 dummy lights. Oh, 109 days, did you guys see that? Yeah, I don't think that's accurate. Anyways, let's let this thing warm up. I haven't driven this thing and man, it's gotta be a couple months at this point. So yeah. We need some gas, I think, too, but we might be okay to make it to work. I'm driving over there right now. I'm on my lunch break. All right, you guys. Well, it is a cold day. Good thing I got my D&D gloves on. Let's just go enjoy this thing, and I'll kind of talk you guys through my personal kind of experience and highlights for this past year. All things considered, it was definitely an unforgettable year, and that's why we're taking the time to look back on it before we move forward. Alright, my tires definitely got some hard spots. If I sitting there in the dirt for a while, take a little bit to warm everything up, get the juices flowing, but brakes definitely as well. This thing is so dirty. I got 5 pounds of leaves flying off it right now. My windscreen is all dirty. I don't have the windshield washer reservoir in this car anymore. So anyways, all right guys, well, as this thing's warming up later on in the video on my way back home, I think we'll do some nice pulls and I'll mount you guys up on the back. But for now, the purpose of the video, talking about the highlights from 2023. So to name them off real quick, I'm not gonna do a whole like deep dive into every single thing. You guys know most of those things that have taken place, but naming them off the top of my head, thinking about like features and company related, definitely comes to mind is Marcus and Roads Untraveled. That was an awesome experience and an awesome day spent with him driving the C36 and this car. It was probably the most fun I've ever had taking the cars out, just because I finally got to take 2 cars out at once and getting to drive all day with Marcus and getting to know him a bit while we were out there, and just had a good time. It was a beautiful day and the video turned out amazing. His edit was amazing, so that was definitely a highlight of 2023. Clutch Kick Media also did the feature on the C55. That was a ton of fun. They came and met me over at my parents' place. Hold on, fire truck going by. So they came over and met me at my parents' place, kind of did a more interview style with me, and sat down and took the car out. And that was literally like right after I finished the coilover setup on the front. You guys know about that, the whole custom coilover setup, or if you have it, you can go back and check. And then otherwise, besides that, like companies and etc., sponsorships, there was so many from this past year that I had the honor and privilege to work with. Companies like Yellow Speed, FCP Euro, Kangaroo's team, Nuke Performance, drawing a blank on the rest of them, but trust me, it was an honor to work with all the companies I got to work with this past year. Oh, Garagistic, there are more for 2024 I would consider, but we just secured that for the 190E before the new year happened, so definitely add them to the list as well for 2023. Going beyond that, a huge one that I don't just consider only in that category alone is Josh and the Mercedes Swap Shop. He and I finally got together this past year after kind of, I don't know, we were kind of like on the same trajectory, and it always made sense for us to kind of align and work together. And it just, you know, we both took our time to, I don't even know what, we just on our own journeys, and then it ended up that our journeys crossed paths, and I'm so grateful that they did. Being able to call him a friend now and calling him for help, and likewise, you know, be able to do what I can in return is special just by itself. And then having him be the one that I go to as my trusted tuner for all of my cars is next level. And really, I credit him for my, like, a lot of everything that took place this year on the channel. Like the CLK build, I could have figured it out, but there's no way it would have gone as smoothly and as well as it did without Josh's help. There's no way. Like, you guys don't even know. You guys hear me talk about it in the videos and shout them out in the videos, but you don't see all the conversations we have behind the scenes, the hours we spent on the phone throughout this past year, the text messages, you know, everything, the emails back and forth. Like, there's a lot that goes into us working together and figuring out how to get the best out of the cars, and it's a lot of fun. But it's more than what you guys see on camera, and that's just how it works. But like I said, he played such a pivotal role this year in my progression and the channel's progression and the build's progression. So I really can't state that lightly at all. Like, it can't be understated. His piece to kind of what we got to accomplish this year was a huge one. So much love to Josh. He knows this. My, you know, feelings towards everything from this past year, and knows how much I appreciate him. But hope you guys do as well. And if you are looking for a tuner, you don't need to look any further. He can do it all. So yeah, that said, definitely huge part of 2023, finally teaming up with Josh, and just be on the lookout. We got plenty more in store. I feel like we're just at the beginning of what we're capable of, and I'm really excited for working together in the future and all that that's going to bring. All the different projects we'll end up, you know, putting our hands on together and putting our heads together to come up with ideas and solutions and creations, all types of things. So yes, definitely a big part of 2023. Now, as far as other categories go, I would just say kind of the builds and what I was able to acquire as far as cars and pieces and components, all that type of stuff. So the cars we bought this year, we started off with my dream car as, you know, a teenager, the car that I credit as the one to get me into AMGs really, and that's my C36. That car we picked up from San Francisco, sight unseen. Big shout out to Al, AC Motorsports. Literally sight unseen, and drove it all the way home from San Francisco to Seattle. It was flawless, it was a blast, and it's been a fantastic car from that point. I've done stuff here and there to it, mostly just like upkeep and nothing real crazy, and it's just been a solid car to own, and I'm so glad it's the one I got, because it's such a clean example. 120,000 mile, one owner prior to me picking it up, and it was in San Francisco its whole life, dealer service its whole life pretty much. It was just a crazy find, and it was awesome. It's awesome. I can't even believe I own that car sometimes when I think about it. All the cars for that matter, but that car in particular was so special to get this year. So that is one that we got. Next up after that came the CLK55 with the M113K swap, which I never thought I would own an M113K car. I'm honest with you guys with that. Like, I don't know, I didn't see it being a thing that would happen. I really love the NA motors and didn't see a need for the compressors for what I was trying to do and what I'm trying to do, but I am so glad that I saw the light of the compressor motors because they're so much fun and that car is phenomenal, and I got an amazing deal on it. Shout out to the previous owner, Alex. He was the most transparent seller I ever had experience with buying a car, and just made the process amazing for me and easy for me. So yeah, from day one I was kind of like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into exactly, but there were so many good pieces to the car that I was willing to kind of dive in and take the risk and just see what I could do with it. And I think that it's turned out really, really well with all the progress we made on it. A ton of work, you guys. That car that probably saw the most amount of work out of everything this year, the CLK55, because I just really, really wanted to get it right before I tried to do anything with it. And it's so cool to have it to a point now where I would consider it pretty dialed in, and I can push it. Like, I can, you know, go out and romp on it and have confidence in it and really enjoy it. So awesome build. That's definitely a crazy one for the year. And after that, I got a crazy idea to, ooh, nice M3. I got a crazy idea to try to build the best Benz I could on a budget. And that's where the series came, Benzing on a budget. Now, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into with that. I bought basically a $800 C230 compressor with a 6-speed because my first ever motor from a Benz was the M111K, and it's always had a special place in my heart. It's a nostalgic place in my heart, and I wanted to have another one, but I wanted to have the manual, and I also really wanted a 190E. So we picked up the C230 for 800 bucks, like I said, and we picked up a shell 190E, basically a rolling shell, complete without motor and trans, for 400 bucks. And we're planning to put those together into one. So I think we left off on like episode 6 or 7, and basically then the red C55 popped into the mix. The Mars Red C55 was the next one bought for the year, and that kind of came out of nowhere, absolutely. And it just was a tempting project to shift my focus to, even though I've always kind of been like, I don't want to be that guy that's jumping back and forth, or, you know, forgetting about projects, you know, without completing them on a YouTube channel, because I see that all the time, and then I get, you know, I'm like, I want to see the other car. But it actually is a good thing, because with that downtime, I've been able to collect a lot of things I need, parts-wise and just knowledge-wise, for how exactly best to move forward with the 190E project. Man, the C55 is definitely running a bit weird right now. I need to like properly stretch its legs, but yeah, it was a good downtime for that project, and it's gonna be so fun to get back to it. The red C55 is nearing its end. You guys saw the mini tragedy of me cracking the oil pan trying to put the transmission on the first time, which is such a bonehead move. But anyways, learned from it, pulled the engine, fixed it, now it's back in, and we're close to finishing it up. But yeah, after that's done, we're getting back to Benzing on a budget, and I'm not buying any more cars until that is done. And once that's done, then maybe I'll think about what's coming next for 2024. But yeah, those are the cars we purchased: the C36, the CLK55, the 190E, and the C230, and then the Mars Red C55. The cars we sold, ML63, which went to a great home, and the E420, which also went to a great home. Very tough to sell. The ML63, tough to sell, but not as much. The E420, very tough to sell. That was a car we manual swapped as well. If you guys are not familiar with that whole project, definitely go check it out. Great car, probably one of the best cars I'll ever own. But it was just time to move on, and Stas, who's owning it now, a good friend of mine, has really helped me out and hooked me up with a bunch of stuff and just been a good friend. And he really wanted it, and he made me a great offer for it, and I accepted. So that's kind of how it happened. And yeah, that was a tough one, but necessary, I think, for the progress going forward. And I'm glad that I have both of those things sold at this point. I'm thankful that I don't have like a bunch of regret about selling those two things. I miss them for sure, but no regret, and that's okay. And that was a big hurdle for me, getting over that. Like, I can buy cars all day long, but selling cars is tough for me, especially when you put as much time and effort as I had into those things. But it's part of the game. It's how I'm going to get to experience different builds and chassis, etc. So it was a good learning lesson and step for me to have those cars sold. So, and I guess the last very special moment that I would have to put for 2023 that really boosted our whole trajectory for the channel was us getting the house that we're in now and having a garage of my own finally. That was huge. That was right around the time I got the C36. We literally moved all the cars over there, and in the C36 preview video or reveal video, I think, at the end of it is when I showed you guys that I got the garage. And I can't stress enough, like, that opened up so much opportunity, because what you guys might not know in the background, I've talked about in the videos, but for newcomers or people that were around at that time maybe didn't know, I was basically either working outside at our condo looking like a crazy guy, pulling intake manifolds in the snow, etc., and have my neighbors be like, what is this guy doing? Or I would have to drive, you know, 30-40 minutes to my parents' house, work in the garage over there. And basically with that, the struggle point of that is I have to finish whatever I start over there to make it back home. Otherwise I leave my car there, have my wife come pick me up, whatever, like figure all that out. And it turned into kind of a nightmare having to do that all the time for the bigger projects. So now with my own garage, I can work on stuff and then leave it alone, and then come back an hour later, 2 hours later, the next night, the next day, and continue on. So there's no more pressure of I have to do this to survive, to make it back home, to not cause an inconvenience for my family or for my parents or whatever else. So that was just like this huge relief for me. The first week that we were in the house with the garage, I was out there every night, like for 2-3 hours after my son fell asleep, and wasn't something that was, you know, I was able to keep up. I don't want to do that because then I was just running on like no sleep. But it was just because I was so excited I had my own garage. I could go walk out and see my cars in the garage and in the driveway. It was such an amazing feeling, and still is, for me to have that garage. And the driveway we have at the house is like really the crucial piece too, because it allots for a lot of room for parking all the cars on the side in the dirt, and then on the main driveway in the middle. So yeah, that was such an awesome piece. And yeah, that's just one of many blessings from this past year, but one that stands out for sure as a huge one and a momentum shifter for the channel, and allowed me to just kind of spread my wings that much more. So yeah, for the most part, that is 2023 in a very tiny shell compared to all of the true experiences of it. I can't thank you all enough, my friends, my family, my wife, my son, for supporting me and just believing in me and pushing me to keep believing in myself and trusting my dreams and trusting what I'm trying to do. it's just an amazing feeling to really see it starting to snowball into something. When I started this, and I'll probably talk about this forever as this channel exists, but when I started this, I had no idea what it was gonna be. And it's funny, like the most cliche thing that I heard growing up that always stands out as something you hear as a youngster in the world is the thing that will find you success, or the thing you'll find success in, is something that you least expect. And I heard that like my whole life, and especially some of my college professors would talk about that all the time. In my design cohort, for those that don't know, I have a design degree, a bachelor's of applied design. So my cohort, we were a tiny cohort, but an awesome one. And my professor there used to always say that as well, like, you know, your most successful designs, or your most successful work, or your success that you find is going to be from the place you least expect it. And I really feel like this channel and Andersen as a whole is going on a trajectory for success, like potentially major success, depending on how I piece things together. And that's really exciting, and I'm blessed to kind of just have that vision. I don't know what else. I mean, yes, I'm blessed for all the material things, but I think most of all, like I've never lost my childhood sense of belief and level of dreaming and level of imagination, whatever you want to call it. It's just never left me. Like I still feel like a kid in my heart, and I think that's such a huge key as well to just not giving up, because adult life can weigh you down, and other adults out there in the world, other people out there in the world can try to weigh you down or tell you that certain things are not possible, or this and that can't be done, or this and that. But I just, because I have that like innate younger self voice still alive in me, it just never lets me waver. Like I don't get too high or low, and I think that's just credit to who I have had around me in my life. It's credit to you guys supporting me, and all the comments and everything you guys send, and messages you guys send me encouraging me. So yeah, I think that's the thing I'm most blessed to still have, just in myself alone, and then externally to have my friends and family, and all of that support, that ecosystem around is really the true key. So yeah, I think that will wrap up this part of the video, guys. Thank you so much again. I love all of you guys. It's been a wonderful, wonderful journey, and I cannot wait to see what 2024 has in store for us. I will say bye to you guys here, but I'll let the clip roll of me having some fun with the C55 on the way home today. Hope you guys are all doing well, and your new year's off to a good start. Much love again. See you in a bit.